Hi everyone, me again in partly cloudy Smyrna, Georgia on a lovely Monday afternoon. Thought I'd go for a quick ride on the Ryker here. It's one of the few times I've ridden the Ryker without Susan along. She didn't want to come out on this one. I was going to go riding about an hour ago. It was very hot, and that was one reason why Susan said she didn't want to go. But just as I'm getting ready to walk out of the house, sometimes God has a way of getting your attention. A big lightning bolt, and it rained like Hades for about 10 minutes, and I mean dump down. And then now it created a problem for me. I'm certainly not going to go out in the rain and that kind of thing. And then I thought, you know, a new motorcycle, I don't have many miles on it yet. Do I really want to take it out in the rain, get it all wet? So I decided to wait a little while, and after about an hour, as you can see, the pavement is virtually dry right here. A few little spots right there, but not too bad. But anyway, the upshot of it is it's nice and cool right now. All this evaporating water has really brought the temperature down. I get out and put a few miles on this thing. Not going to really go far. I'm going to go down to the covered bridge. I have not taken this through the covered bridge yet, and that's sort of a rite of passage for my motorcycles. And I really like the covered bridge, and don't usually go through it. With a motorcycle, it's no problem, but with a trike, the way the bridge is made, there are two runners in there for the car tires to go on, and in the middle there isn't anything, just the sub flooring of the inside of the bridge, and it collects trash and stuff like that. With Susan's Spider, I sometimes am able to put the center wheel on the very right-hand edge of the board, and that's just enough over for the left wheel to stay up on its board. So sometimes I can ride across without falling down in the middle, and we'll see if that happens this time. If it doesn't, it's okay. Brand new tires. This is the rally version, so it's got a lot of tread on the tire, and I don't think it'd be any problem if I hit something in there, maybe, you know, some debris, piece of wood or something like that. And I'm going to go slow anyway, so no big deal. But it is a rite of passage. Got to tell you a funny story. Coming up on this intersection here, South Cobb Drive. This is if you're going that way, which is the way we were going. We were off here on the right-hand side in the left turn lane, getting ready to turn down this road and head back down Spring here. And the light was red, and it went green. It goes green for the people on the left over here for both the turn lane and to go straight before anybody else. Well, a lady was coming from this food mart over here, I guess, and I didn't see her until she fell. She actually was running across the crosswalk, running across in front of about 4 lanes of traffic, and she did not have the light. She was going against the light, and just as she got to about where that Pool Pros truck is, she fell, and she had 3 drinks in her hands and some kind of a tote bag of some kind on one arm, and she hit the deck. And I mean, two of those drinks just splattered all over the road there. They were in plastic cups, straws, and she got up, and she was so mad that she threw her other drink down on the ground right there. And then she turned and just stared at all the people that were trying to come across the road. Look, you know, they had the light. In fact, she got her phone out to take a picture of the cars that were coming. And I haven't figured that part out yet. Then she reached in her bag, and she had a bag of oranges. She grabbed an orange, and she stood there. She took a stance like a pitcher, and she stood there like she was going to throw an orange at the first one that moved. And I'm just, you know, my mouth is agape on this. My wife, Susan, is sitting there going, what in the heck is going on here? And so we just continued to watch, and finally she put her orange back in her bag, picked it up, and walked off the rest of the way across the road and didn't look back. So she was out 3 drinks and almost an orange, and really almost got run over. Just because she couldn't be bothered to wait for the the crosswalk to be in her favor. I thought it was hilarious, but anyway, it is the times we live in. But I mean, I'll tell you what's going on with the Ryker. I have excuse me. I've ordered about all the accessories I can afford. and that I really need. Got a couple more things coming. I'm I think I've got another pair of handlebars I'm going to try. I'm not real happy with these. I just don't like them that much. I don't know why. But and I have ordered an exhaust system. I'm going to go ahead and get the Two Brothers exhaust for this, only because this is so quiet that all I can hear is the rattles and the vibrations of the motor in the plastic, and I really don't hear the exhaust at all. So you know, I'm got used to having a nice exhaust note with the with my Yamaha, and so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a few weeks on that. I think they're on back order right now. But with that said, I believe that is about all that I can stand to put on here. Everything I put on here so far has been for either comfort or utility. It hasn't, none of it's been on, except for the little decals of the Wile E. Coyote. There hasn't been anything on here for just for looks or anything like that. I'm not trying to doll it up. I think it looks good enough as it is. But the exhaust, it'll give me a little more performance. It weighs about 17 pounds less than the stock system, and that's going to be significant on this motorcycle. That's a big weight savings, and it's down very, very low. So we'll see how that works out. But it's supposed to be an easy slip-on deal, 1 bolt, 4 springs, and it's on. So I'll let you know how it goes. And of course, I'll do a video after I get it put on. I'm not going to do a video of installing it. I've been online, and there must be 100 videos on the Rykers now of how to do everything. So I just go there to learn how to do stuff. If I can answer a question, I'll be glad to. But really, I don't know much about this thing yet. So bear with me. I'm going to learn. These are the guards that keep people that are too tall from going through the covered bridge. It doesn't seem to stop them, but they'll still do it and knock the bridge down every now and then. We have to rebuild it. This is the Silver Comet Trail, walking trail where the parking lot and the last turnaround before the bridge. Well, and no signs up, so apparently the bridge is open. You just never know. Somebody might have knocked it down. So it's a beautiful little area here. I love to come through here. At one time, this was the main drag from getting from one side of Atlanta to the other, or really through Smyrna, and until they built the main highway. And but people still come through here quite a bit. You hit this place about 4 or 5 o'clock on a weekday, and you'll be waiting in line to get through places. But now there's the tricky part. I got to see if anybody's coming. Okay, looks like I got it. Now let's see if I can do this. I want to get right on the edge. Okay, so far so good. I'm on the boards. Right. Oh, so I slipped off. Okay. You didn't see that. Well, it looks like it's pretty clean through here anyway. I'm pretty good. Boom, and a bump. Okay. Almost did it. I think if it hadn't been wet, I think I would have made it. But, so Broker Cherry, she went through the covered bridge. Unfortunately, with bikes like this, with this type of transmission, there is no revving. There's no rev bombing a bridge. So please don't give me a hard time about that. I can blow my horn, better horn by the way, in case you noticed, than stock, but that's about it. Every now and then Susan and I'll blow our horns when we go through the tunnels on the parkway, but that's about it. But been a lot of topics out there. I've been watching Mike Haley 7 and Harley Trek. Mike Haley 7's been talking about Harley Davidson and whether they're going to survive or not. Harley Trek today was riding a Sportster that had belonged to his dad, and he was talking about it's old enough that it's carbureted, and apparently I'm guessing it sat with ethanol fuel in it for too long, and the fuel turned bad, and he's been having to deal with getting it running again. He mentioned putting seafoam in it. Seafoam is a good additive. But the best thing to do, and I've spoken on this before, this is from 35 years of selling parts and working on small engines, lawnmowers, motorcycles, and boats. Don't run ethanol gas if you can help it. It's not going to hurt you to run it, but you've got to run it all through there in about a month. I know it's hard to believe, but in less than a month's time, under the right conditions, enough moisture will condense out of the air. It's grabbed by the alcohol in the fuel, and it turns into a sludge. And it literally only can take 30 days. And you'll have, especially when you have a carburetor, which has an idle jet that's just the size of a few sizes bigger than a hair on your head, it can get plugged really easy, and all of a sudden your bike doesn't idle anymore. And then a little farther down the road, the main jet gets plugged, and now your bike doesn't run at all. And some additives are really good. We used to sell, I sold every additive you can think of. Sold some really good ones, sold some that weren't all that great. I've seen all the promotional information. I've talked to all the representatives. And it all boils down to this. Let me tell you what you need to know about it. Doesn't matter what additive you get. 60 days. That's as long as any of them will guarantee you that their product will keep moisture out of the ethanol fuel. This is because the products they sell all evaporate, and it will eventually come out of the tank. And it's the heat and cool cycles. It's, if you have an uninsulated garage, say, or you leave your bike out in the sun, at night it cools down. It sucks in air through the vent in the fuel system, and that air's got moisture in it, and the ethanol in the fuel grabs that moisture. During the day, the air expands in the tank, and it tries to expel that air, and when it does, that night, the cycle again, it draws in more air with more moisture, and the moisture stays in the fuel. So eventually you end up with ruined fuel and a bad system. It doesn't affect fuel injection systems quite as badly. I don't have that much experience with fuel injection in terms of sales and all. We didn't sell a lot of those. Most of the small engines and things I work with did not use fuel injection. But I know from my own personal experience, the vehicles I have all have fuel injection. And I don't seem to have any problem with the fuel. But then again, I burn through it pretty quickly. I doubt I have any fuel in any of my vehicles that's over 30 days old. Now the solutions. Oh yes, Sam, tell me, what is the solution? If your state allows it, buy some recreational fuel or non-ethanol fuel. If you can't find it anywhere else, a lot of times you can find it at a marina, if you've got a marina near you. Because they learned a long time ago that boats are the worst culprit for this. You have a boat, you use it all summer, you put it up for 6 months over the winter, and when you go to get it out, it won't start. And that's why, because the gas is turned to crap. So run non-ethanol fuel if you can. That's the best. If you have to run ethanol fuel, run it out relatively quickly. Burn it up as quickly as you can. Don't let it sit for any length of time. All right, I'm going to sneak on through here. See if I can try this again. All right, I'm on it. I'm on the board. Nope. Fell off again. All right, well, looks like it's just not going to happen on this covered bridge. So, the other alternative, don't know if I recommend this for your motorcycle, but you can buy a product called True Fuel. It's a totally synthetic fuel. They guarantee it for 2 years, and whatever you put it in, your lawnmower, your string trimmer, your whatever, they make premix, they make everything. And I'm not trying to sell it. I don't get any money for mentioning their product, but it certainly is something worth considering if you have something like a chainsaw that you do want to store for months on end. You can empty all the fuel out. You could take your motorcycle and run all the fuel out of it at the end of the year, and that way. But the downside to that is some of the components in the fuel system are designed to run in gasoline all the time, and if you let them get dry, they tend to just change sizes. They can shrink, they can crack, they can degrade. So just something to consider, and it depends on what you have. But anyway, well, I think I probably bored you enough. I'll put a link down to Mike Haley 7's and Harley Trek's latest videos, so you can check them out. They kind of motivated me to get out and say something today. If you follow me, you've noticed I haven't really had much to say lately. But 'tis the silly season with politics and riots and COVID and just so much crazy stuff going on in the world that sometimes you just want to get out and ride and not talk. So Well, that'll do it for now. If you get a chance to, get out and ride. If you want to, shoot a video. Share some of your ideas and thoughts. I don't do politics in this venue, but if you want us to talk politics, that's fine with me. But anyway, everybody take care. I think I'm going to make it home without getting wet, and hopefully everything will go fine for the rest of the day. So anyway, sorry I've been riding so slow. I'm just hard to concentrate on going fast and talking at the same time. So guess I'll shut her down so I can zip-de-doo on home. All right, everybody. Well, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.